know what time it is. Rocking with your boy Czar, all rights reserved. Now, today is going to be a simple mathematic type of day. What we're going to talk about is very simple. There's a manhunt right now for two individuals who we're not going to name. But in this manhunt, we know that there is specific things that they're going to look for. Well, I'm going to break this down quickly to you, what the viability of them searching for these men is going to be. Now, these men that are missing, I don't know if they watched All Rights Reserved in the earlier parts, or who knows whether they're on YouTube or they've been on a run or what have it. But what we do know is that there's a very simple technique that these authorities use to find them. Now, the title of this is going to be Rogue Officials. But understand that these are not rogue authority. Now, when I say rogue officials, I don't mean it in the term that they left in unsavory manner. I mean in the term that their job is to go around and about what law is known and make contact with these individuals. Now, a lot of movies sensationalize these type of things and make light of it, make joke of it, but in all actuality, it is no joke. It is no game. And these rogue officials, they come out when all resources have been used. So say they plan to use maybe $150,000 worth of man hours to find these men. What happens is they then contact rogue officials who may have intelligence with individuals who are not linked to any authoritative manner, and they search for these guys. Now, this is a step above bounty hunters, because bounty hunters, as we know, are freelance mercenaries that go hunting people down and find them with information handed to them by authorities, because they can no longer research a case or keep in contact with even trying to catch up with an individual. These individuals are scapegoats. They cannot be found. Rogue officials have contact to intelligence and other means and forms of combat that may not be legal for normal authorities to use. This is when you get cases that seem outlandish, but then a perpetrator may not be found ever. And it has to do a lot with criminals. When criminals that are wanted, criminals that are being searched for, just overall criminology is being thwarted by certain individuals who they cannot give the monetary value to searching for any longer. They send these individuals out on a rogue mission. And basically, these rogue officials may be dressed down, they may be in any type of manner, and their only sole goal purpose may be to shoot to kill. Because at this point in time, if an individual did not give himself up, it is believed that you are ready to take hostile means by any moment. So at this moment, you rather an officer in uniform recognize you and catch up to you. That would be better for you. Because in this situation, these rogue officials are well trained. They've been taught many different forms of combat, and they're ready to do war, presuming you as a threat to society. So they're already backed in a roundabout way. So them being, let's say, investigated for something, if it did go down in a way, would not be the case. They'd be solely put into position to hunt you. And these are the things that aren't really talked about in the free media. It's not really talked about or brought up. You just see a situation where a could-be criminal ends up deceased, and then authorities arrive on the scene. And sometimes they may even refer to this person as a civilian and say a civilian did battle with him. Not that a civilian could not, but being that they were recognized, this person may have been trained to recognize them and hunt them down. Now, here's why I say it's a little more than a bounty hunter, because a bounty hunter goes and they're looking for a price, and they've been given a specific price, and it may happen to pay to them only when they retrieve the subject. A rogue official is paid up front and they move out. And this is what makes it more dangerous, because they're moving out to get you. So for instance, if there was a criminal that was let's say, missing for a few years and on the run, in a year or so, they may pay a rogue official, like, so say in the situation they paid me, and they paid me like 20,000. Then for that 20,000, through authoritative means, I would go hunting for that criminal. And what would happen is, when I catch up with that criminal, he's wanted alive. So my first thing may be to call in. But if he notices me, and criminals get very paranoid when they're noticing situations, he may be ready to take violent means to protect his status. I will have all authoritative rights to do war with this man, subdue him, and if anything happens, it happens, because he avoided looking his accuser in the eye. He avoided standing front and center with his accuser and standing there in his trial to take any questioning. He just dipped out of state. Can't find him at home, can't find him in a relative's place. So this is when targeted isn't working. And this is when the zigzag method may mean nothing at this point, because they don't have the information to go on an intelligent search for this man. So now he becomes hunted by rogue officials who have deeper intelligent contacts and smarter means to hunt their victims. In this case, it would be a criminal. Now, rogue officials are simply and just sent for criminals. I'm not talking about hitmen that get paid off around about, get sent out on cases by civilians. They take money to do stuff. No, we're talking about rogue officials. And the word rogue, a lot of people play with it by saying someone went AWOL and stuff. But when I say rogue officials, I mean that they act on a law that is beyond the law. So basically, their job is to find you. So that is what they're putting all their resources towards. That is why is it more likely that when they catch up with these individuals on the run, it's really not good. Because depending on the type of day they had is literally on the type of way that they can act. And don't get me wrong, their act may be first to tell you to freeze, put your hands up, get down, because they know that you're a criminal. And this is only when they can prove and know you are who you are. And when they do that, the best thing is to follow their instructions, because they're not going to move in a way that people think they're going to move. They're going to come for this criminal, and their method is honestly I call it a residual method. A nickname I give it is the revenge method, because the way that they're going to move in on a target through authoritative means is that they're really not going to be playing with you. And here's my thing. A rogue official can be dressed like you or I. They could be dressed like me. They could be dressed, if you're in a bar and you're wearing baggy pants and a long tee, they could be dressed just like that. But they're watching you to get information, to see if you're volatile and kind of see your behavior, to see how they're going to take on the situation. That is how a rogue official usually enacts to a situation. Again, this is something that's not usually talked about. And again, and just to emphasize, I don't use real names that are used by authority. I call them rogue officials, again, because not only are they official doing what they're doing, but they're moving in a rogue manner. So they're not stamped on the grid that you're going to see a court case unless they decide to call law and have you arrested instead of taking you on themselves. Now, the thing about this and the danger with this job is that if they do take it on themselves, and you decide to fight back in your situation with the charges you have against you, even if you are wounded or something and authorities come, these guys will not be held responsible for wounding you. It would basically be a suicide mission for the criminal on the run, because they're not going to have any sympathy for you dodging it. And this is in the context of you being included in a murder or an robbery/murder. These are for top level felonious individuals that are avoiding authority at every objective they have set. It's just not going to be playing with you. It's going to be someone that's directly sent to find you and to bring you back, but they don't have the rules where they got to bring you back safe, dead, or alive. That is all off the table. These individuals are willing to take you on at any manner, and their training is above the normal officer you think of. These individuals are trained not only through military means, but they may have a past in some type of martial arts, or let's say deep training that has put them in many secret missions in their life. So these guys are sent out when they believe a threat to society exists. Now, the thing about rogue officials, the reason they are called on too is because if you're not believed to not be in the state that you committed your crime in, and you're traveling all over, and ATF can't find you, FBI can't really track you, these individuals are sent out and they do not play with any enemy they're in contact. If they think that you are going to be violent, they will take you on at every means. That is why I've sat here and talked to people. If there's a case against you, face your accusers, especially if it's a violent felony. And that's why I say people play around with the whole murder thing, but they don't realize that in the same sense that you're willing to go to the extreme, there is authorities who are set at an extreme pace to deal with the extremities of a criminal taking extreme measures. And do you think, what I want to ask my commenters, do you think these individuals will be sent out for who's involved in this situation? Let me know in the comments below. All rights reserved.